Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues, and a special good morning to the new members of this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased this morning to provide the Honorable House with a high-level plan on the implementation of STEAM education, or rather known as science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics at the primary level in the Bermuda public school system. Mr. Speaker, let me first share that the STEAM education is defined as an educational approach to learning that uses science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics as access points for guiding student inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. This methodology facilitates a learning environment where students take thoughtful risks, engage in experiential learning, persist in problem solving, embrace collaboration, and work through the creative process. Mr. Speaker, STEAM education is an approach that shifts teachers away from the typical teacher-centered classroom learning environment into collaborative project work and creative problem-solving with students. Research shows that engaging children in learning of both novelty and discovery positively impacts their behavior and causes them to exercise self-control and to self-regulate. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of STEAM education aligns with the Department of Education's strategic plan for public school education and directly supports 4 of the 5 strategic priorities in Plan 2022, namely 1, increasing academic rigor and student engagement, 2, ensuring career, college, and workforce readiness, 3, enhancing the quality of teacher practice and system leadership, and finally, improving infrastructure and instructional resources. In support of the government's midterm platform promise to provide exposure to STEAM education at the primary school level, the Department of Education undertook research that identified the Engineering as Elementary EIE curriculum, a science component of STEAM education, as the best fit for primary school students. The Engineering as Elementary curriculum was selected because the curriculum is universally designed to meet the needs of all learners. Students move step by step through a goal-oriented problem-solving process. This curriculum is also aligned with the Cambridge International Science Curriculum. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of STEAM education at the primary school level will add to what has already started in the middle and senior levels with STEM 101. The STEAM EIE curriculum will enable students to have an exciting hands-on approach to learning. Student experiences show that they learn how to blend the mind of a scientist and technology experts with that of the artist or designer. Mr. Speaker, during the 2017-18 school term, a pilot of the STEAM Engineering is Elementary, or EIE curriculum, was undertaken in 4 primary schools: West Pembroke, Paget, Northlands, and Prospect Primary. Implementation is being monitored by education officers, and at the end of the year, officers will report out to principals on the progress with the program. Mr. Speaker, classroom observations conducted thus far reveal that students are excited to engage in the engineering challenges, problem solve, learn about different engineer roles in today's world, learn terminology in different languages, and think like an engineer. Mr. Speaker, in the longer term, the implementation of the EIE curriculum for all primary schools will be structured in 3 phases, and operational plans will be developed at each phase for execution. The first phase, which extends to the 2018-19 school year, commences in September 2018 and will include 4 schools currently participating in the pilot, plus 2 additional primary schools. These primary schools will receive additional differentiated instruction support and professional development training in July and again in September. The Department of Education's technical officers, that is the Gifted and Talented Education Officer, the Acting Director of Curriculum and Assessment, and the Director of Academics will guide and support the primary school teachers during the implementation of the EIE curriculum. They will also monitor and evaluate the EIE program on a bi-weekly basis. Mr. Speaker, Phase 2 of STEAM implementation will begin in September 2019, with 6 more primary schools receiving differentiated and integrated instructional supports and professional development training in June and September 2019. Increased primary school implementation of the EIE curriculum will be applied where schools choose and integrate units of their choices. Lastly, Phase 3 will follow the same implementation plan during the 2021 school year, with the remaining 6 primary schools receiving professional development training and instructional resources for implementation. At Phase 3, all 18 primary schools will be fully engaged with STEAM curricula using the EIE application. Mr. Speaker, the annual cost of implementing each phase is estimated at $125,000. This includes the cost of the EIE resource kits for each school, initial training for teachers, and ongoing professional development for teachers during the course of the school year, which will ensure fidelity in delivering the STEAM program. Professional development sessions will be facilitated by EIE representatives using a train-the-trainer module. The focus will be the development stages of lower and upper primary students and afford teachers the opportunity to facilitate STEAM pedagogy constructs for the contextual learning and problem solving, collaborative learning and teamwork, and project-based learning. Mr. Speaker, the success and sustainability of STEAM education at the primary school level will be supported by a consistent commitment of economic, environmental, and social partnerships with stakeholders. This government has pledged to making education a priority and will ensure the Department of Education has the necessary resources to develop a culture that steers the success of each student. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister.